My name is Veronica Kitchen. I'm a political scientist in the political science department at the University of Waterloo and in the Balsillie School of International Affairs. I'm interested in studying, as I say, the intersection between domestic and international security. And I'm particularly interested in the explosion of institutions for counterterrorism that happened after September 11th. The threat from terrorism is in many ways incalculable. It's difficult to wrap our minds around because the threat is small, yet if a terrorist attack were to happen, it would be devastating. And so it creates this interesting paradox in that we have a tendency to try to build up more and more security in order to protect ourselves from a potentially devastating threat. And so I think that's when we need to start worrying about the way that this buildup of security institutions and security practices and security politics may be affecting our everyday lives, our civil liberties, and the fabric of our society. One of my interests is in studying how these security dynamics play out at mega events. And in 2010, we had two mega events happen in Canada. In the early part of the year, the Vancouver Olympics, and then in the summertime, the G20 in Toronto and the G8 in Huntsville. But what was interesting is that in both of them, the primary threat was perceived to be from criminal protest. There's a video clip out there going around about a police officer who, when is confronted by a protester, and the police officer asks the protester to show his identification. The protester responds, "This is Canada, I don't have to show you my identification on the street," to which the police officer replies, "Well, this ain't Canada right now." During a mega event, we experience exceptional politics and exceptional politics of security in which there is a sense that the normal rules don't apply. But if we think about society as a collective good and the idea that the erosion of our privacy is also an erosion of our social fabric, we should maybe start to be concerned about the continued escalation of security measures. Security is always a difficult area to do research in because the instinct is to hide. The instinct is for the people you want information from to not give you that information. But it's actually very interesting in an era of WikiLeaks, public intelligence, and the internet, that a lot of the times the public sources and the public intelligence that is available is almost as good as the private sources and the government intelligence that is available. So what we've been doing is a lot of media studies. I've got a great team of graduate and undergraduate researchers who are working on mapping, on figuring out exactly what the state of the set of security institutions we're studying is. My undergraduate students and my graduate students are also presenting at conferences and creating their own papers out of this research project so that they can take ownership of a particular part of the research and make that their project, both at the undergraduate and at the graduate level. We're hoping that eventually within the next few years that will feed into a conference or a workshop on integrated counterterrorism institutions and the securitization of policing. As the project moves forward, there will be more and more dissemination of our knowledge through op-eds, through Twitter, through eventually a website, and of course, more traditional academic publications. If we can understand all of those things, and if we can communicate them to citizens in understandable ways, then they are better equipped to engage in this really important debate about how much security we need and what the effects of security are on the fabric of our society.